Hi everyone, this is Andrew from Ask Andrew, and this week I'm going to talk about plagal cadences. Plagal cadences are one of the four principal cadences, and when I say principal cadences, what I mean are perfect cadences, plagal cadences, imperfect cadences, and interrupted cadences. Perfect cadences and plagal cadences are sometimes described as being full closes, and what that means is that they are cadences that you're more likely to get at the end of a section of a piece, or in fact actually at the very end of the piece. Perfect cadences, we know, are describing movement from chord 5 to chord 1, the dominant to the tonic. Plagal cadences are chord 4 to chord 1, the subdominant to the tonic. When you hear a plagal cadence, comparing it to a perfect cadence, you'll hear that it's not quite as strong as a perfect cadence. Plagal cadences you often get, say, at the end of a hymn. They are the characteristic amen that you get at the end of a hymn. Anyway, what I thought I'd do today is I thought I'd go through and write two plagal cadences in 4-part vocal style, one in a major, one in a minor key, and just show you how I would go about writing them. The first cadence I'm going to write is in E flat major, and I've got the stave set up here, key signature in, and I've got the Roman numerals down here as well. In AMEB theory exams, you don't need to put the Roman numerals in. You're not examined on those in the theory exams, but they're very useful when you're writing harmony, particularly longer passages of harmony. They're just a very clear visual cue as to the harmony that you're writing. So feel free to use Roman numerals when you write your harmonies. Okay, the first thing we need to do is get the bass line in. Chord 4 needs an A flat in the bass line. So let's just put that here. Chord 1 needs the E flat. Let's put that in here. Cross them off. There and there. Now, what we need to do is put in a balanced spacing for all the other notes. So I'm just going to choose something. In this chord, I'm going to put the C in the tenor voice. I'm going to put that A in the alto, and then I'm going to put the E in the soprano. That's a characteristic spacing in 4-part harmony. Now, let's have a look at how we move from one chord to the next. I recommend that you always try to find the pathway of least movement, that you minimize the part movement as you move from one chord to the next. If you do that, you don't actually fall into the traps when writing cadences. So let's have a look. Now, the G, well actually we'll just cross these off because we've used them. The G, which one of these three notes moves most easily to the G? It's the alto. It moves down by step. Okay, what about the B flat? Which note in this chord moves most easily to the B flat? It's the C, so that moves down by step as well. And the E flat we can just retain from one chord to the next. So, and let's make some observations. The bass does what it does. One part stays the same. Two parts fall by step. And if you remember what I was saying about perfect cadences, this is the opposite to perfect cadences. When we worked through examples in perfect cadences, two parts rose by step. So the characteristic thing for plagal cadences is that usually two parts will fall as you move from one chord to the next. Now, let's have a look at an example in a minor key, and I'm going to choose a different spacing for this one. Okay, let's do one in a minor key. So I've got the key signature in for E minor. Let's work through this example. Again, first step, put in the bass line. Now, I chose a fairly open spacing here, so I'm going to choose a close spacing for this example, just to show you something different. So I'm going to put the A here, and then I'm going to put the C there, the E there, and the A there. Very close. Okay, and let's do the next chord. Bass line, E, there we go. Now, which one of these notes falls most easily to the G? It's the A, so let's put that in. Which one falls most easily to the B? It's the C. Let's put that in. And then again, we have a note that's retained from one chord to the next. So again, let's make some observations. One part has stayed the same. Two parts have fallen by step. That's probably the most important thing you need to know when you're starting to write Plagal cadences from the start. Two parts will fall, one part will stay the same. Thanks everyone. I hope this information was useful, and I look forward to reading your comments and answering your questions. Cheers.